Yo, my name is Black and thanks for tuning in. So the question is it a sin to eat pork and shellfish? Many people will refer to the New Testament, and the most popular verse they use to say they can eat anything is in Mark 7:18. So let's read that and see what it says. And Yahshua said to them, "Then are you also without understanding? Do you not see that whatever goes into a person from outside cannot defile him? It enters not his heart, but his stomach, and is expelled." A lot of Christians will refer to this verse and they say all food were declared clean. But let's read this verse in context. So let's start from the top. Mark 7, verse 1. Then came together unto him the Pharisees and certain of the scribes, which came from Jerusalem. And when they saw some of the disciples eat bread with defiled, that is to say, with unwashed hands, they found fault. For the Pharisees and all of the Jews, except they wash their hands off, eat not, holding the tradition of the elders. There's a couple of things I want you to notice here. In verse 2, the disciples eating bread. Not bacon, not shrimp, they were eating bread, all right? Also notice, it says the traditions of the elders, not the law, okay? So let's read on. Verse 4, and when they come from the market, except they wash, they eat not. And many other things there be, which they have received to hold, as the washing of cups and pots, brazen vessels, and of tables. Verse 5, then the Pharisees and scribes asked Yahshua, why walk not thy disciples according to the traditions of the elders, but eat bread with unwashed hands? So again, they said the traditions of the elders, nothing about the law. So like today's time is a common practice for us to wash our hands before we eat. That's not the case here, alright? The Pharisees are upset because this is part of a man-made ritual they were doing. They felt unclean if they came in contact with Gentiles. Let's read on. He answered and said unto them, well hath Elias prophesied of you hypocrites, as it is written, this people honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. Howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. For laying aside the commandment of Elohim, ye hold the tradition of men, as washing of pots and cups, and many other such like things they do. So Yahshua snapped back at them. They keep pushing the commandments of men, not Yahweh's law. That's the whole issue here. Let's read on. Verse 9. And he said unto them, full well ye reject the commandment of Elohim, that ye may keep your own tradition. For Moshe said, honor thy father and thy mother, and whoso curseth father or mother, let him die the death. But ye say, if a man should say this to his father or mother, it is Corban, that is to say, a gift, by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me, he shall be free. So you're probably like, what is Corban? Well, it was a man-made tradition that the Pharisees followed, which they made a vow and to dedicate the future earnings to the temple, and basically it's a way to bypass taking care of their own. Verse 12, and ye suffer him no more to do aught for his father or his mother, making the word of Elohim of none effect through your tradition, which ye had delivered, and many such like things do ye. And when he had called all the people unto him, he said unto them, hearken unto me every one of you, and understand. There is nothing from without a man that entering into him can defile him, but the things that come out of him, those that can defile the man. So the whole conversation about this man-made ritual that the Pharisees was upset that Yahshua didn't follow. And Yahshua was like, yo, I'm following the commandments of Yahweh, not your man-made traditions. That's what that's about. Not about making all food clean. Yeah, no mention of this. Verse 16. If any man have ears to hear, let him hear. And we have entered into the house from the people, his disciples asked him concerning the parable. So after the whole confrontation between Christ and the Pharisees, the disciples asked him to break down the parable. So even they knew it wasn't about food. Verse 18. And he said unto them, are ye so without understanding also? Do ye not perceive that whatsoever thing from without enters into the man and cannot defile him? Because it entereth into his heart, but into the belly, and go out to the draw person all meats. Then he said, that which come out of the man that defiles the man. So again, Yahshua is pretty much saying the Pharisees are so caught up in the man-made traditions and not to the commandments of Yahweh. Verse 21. For from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, murders, thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, an evil eye, blasphemy. pride, foolishness. All these evil things come from within and defile the man. So basically, the Pharisees walking around with their heads up high, like they're perfect because they follow all these man-made traditions. And Yahshua just pretty much just letting them know that these men are still evil and wicked because they don't follow the commandments of Yahweh. They only care about these man-made traditions. Besides, if Yahshua was telling us to eat unclean food, wouldn't that be a contradiction in the Bible? Like, if he followed the law and then eat these things, why would he be telling everyone else to eat these things? Like, that doesn't even make sense, right? Like, you never heard of Christ eating unclean food, so why would he be teaching others that it's okay to eat unclean food? That doesn't even make sense. So simply put, people just do take that verse out of context to justify their own wickedness and want to eat what they want to eat. But if we just read here in its context, it had nothing about, he never declared all food clean to eat. He never did that. There are some corrupted translations like NIV that says that. But as you see here for the whole conversation, it was about Pharisees want to follow these man-made traditions, and Yahshua didn't care for that, and he only cared about following the commandments of Yahweh. Hope it answered your question. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notification for future videos. Thanks for watching.